Boom! Here it is, the 87th IWAR Gold Strategy Workshop. That's Michael Cook. I'm Matt Riley. We are here to break down our options in gold for the winter cycle 2025. And so long as nobody tries to outlaw the IWA, we should be able to get through this without getting interrupted. So I'm battling a cold. Mike's in the cold because it's snowing down south. We had snow here in the Boston area. So I got that wonderful congestion. So good thing Mike does most of the talking these times. But
Yep.
let's break down what our options are and get right to it.
Okay. So we talked about last cycle being absolutely, the worst 10, like as many options as we could have.
Right.
Uh, this one didn't quite, give us everything we wanted, but we're pretty close.
Yeah.
We're going to start with 72 options this time. That's a reasonable number. Means if you have six wrestlers, you have an 8% chance of just blindly guessing out of our options to get a 501.
I'll take that.
Yeah,
I
it's
will
pretty
really.
good
I'll take
odds. All right. So here's what we got. Um, Iron eliminated 28-27. So we got four out there. The last gold was 28-26. So completely just taking that middle out.
Nice.
We didn't quite get, everything here because we had an overlap of three golds ago and still on 27. So not the biggest help on either of those, but let's get that out of there. And the two golds ago was 29-28. We also get to eliminate four options because they have a 25 in it. And one additional 29 and 27 is gone because it was the two cycles ago 25s, 22 and 53. And that's going to leave us with non-front.
Holy moly.
Yeah, not bad at all.
No.
So we'll stop there. Stop there on the front for a minute. Let's go to the back and we'll start it, and then we can kind of work back on a few more things here.
Okay.
So the back is the cycle where we get to use hold 90
Very nice.
as one of our 45s.
Eee.
That means you do not take 65, the other 44.
Right.
All right. And let's go ahead and look at the 45s, trying to place those. So,
Mm.
yeah, this is always the tricky cycle because it's the one most likely to flip them backwards and mess up your point flow. Um, you see, last little bit, we've been getting more of the three in a row that is the right,
Hmm.
44 and 43 going. You look at the stretch before that, not really the case.
Yeah.
This is kind of what we talk about, with the 41, 42 sometimes, where you look over a stretch and it should balance out. They like to balance out, it seems, but I think we got our correction here and really could go either way right now. I feel like we're about to see something like this or just another stretch like this. So I think while both are, an option, it's probably going to be, you get your 8% chance.
The coin.
Yep, pretty much. I think I'm going to flip mine though and have the 73 go to 44. Just trying to bet against that. Four of the last five cycles have had it the correct way. We
Right.
know next cycle, if 90 is a 45, it has a better chance of going to 44. So do you think we're going to see a third section like this with three in a row, or that there'll be a flip in the middle? So
Uh,
hoping I don't cost myself, but I'm going to go
yeah.
ahead and flip them this cycle. It's a tough one. It really is because
Yeah.
pretty much it is a guess. There's nothing definitive, but
Sure.
yeah, I'm going to go ahead and flip it and hope for the best.
But now the conundrum of our 43.
Yep.
That's going to be a
So
pain in the ass.
this is a tough one because two in a row have been what we mark as 43-2. And as you see, not really that common to have three in a row be one or the other. We've got 43, 1, 3 here.
Yeah.
And then if we go back about 2 years, you see we get a couple stretches of it. So I think you're looking, I put it probably like a 60-40 split of likelihood of 62 being the best hold over 66. You probably want to use both if you have enough wrestlers, but that would be the order I put them in is 62 over 66 if you're trying to get that one strat.
Okay.
So like my BWL is going to probably be 90-62. I feel like we've had this 4 cycles ago since we had a 1-1. You see it's
Eddie's in
not,
too.
yeah,
Two-time wrestler of the year now.
yeah. What, three world titles?
Yes.
Yeah. One US, one, no, I didn't get a national. I got a US and a Queen of the Ring. Yeah. I got to get that national somehow.
I redid the I don't think I sent it to you or not, but I redid the BWL like all-time rankings, and I was surprised that Gina was as high as she was. I was like, I
Fourth,
think,
I'm guessing.
yeah, I thought
Yeah.
she was gonna be like eighth or ninth, but she was up there. But she had that one cycle where she went berserk. Like it was a perfectly timed, like
Yeah.
we went wild and was like did all the matches and got the elite qualification. It's like,
I mean, I think you've been top four 2 of the 3 years though. So makes
yeah,
sense.
this is her best
You
year.
should be
Well,
up there.
my best year with her this year, but nowhere to go but down. All right. So, well, Better Than You is like the top wrestler, so it's really
Yep. I got trash talk back this cycle too. I'm finally
nice.
getting back that way. I'm trying to get those extra. Basically, don't wait. I do this whenever we do it. I don't actually do my strats till about 7:30 Monday morning before work. I'm
I do
terrible
mine.
about it,
I do
which
mine
leaves no
Sunday night.
time. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I got to do more.
Yeah. So, all right. So we got the 62. So now
Yeah,
comes the big dilemma where
yeah,
we might see the most action, so to speak, as far as like what's going to be the tough
hmm
call. The 41s and 42s at 13.
yeah. To start this cycle, we had a 42 in iron. We had the 41 still. So we're basically right where we're always at. It's going to be one or the other. I think trying to we talked about it here with law of averages.
Right.
We talked about it here, and it gave some pretty good success to the way I was picking. Um, we talked about when this happened, we were going to get a lot more 41s, and sure enough, you see, we had a stretch of 5 out of 6 all of a sudden.
Yep.
Um, I think we'll get to a point where it's going to start to switch back. If you look,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
tough because I don't know if we're going to go on one of these runs quite yet. Um, yeah, we're going to go look at some individual holds. I think we can probably do an educated guess to eliminate one more than
Yep.
saying one way or the other.
Sure.
I think I would lean towards the 42. Uh, put the usual disclaimer, though, to tell everybody 41s are safer because you're going to
Right.
likely get a 42, 43, which
Right.
if you want to play that game, which is a good game to play, you get a lot more stars that way.
Right.
You go with a 41, but I would give a slight edge towards 42 just because of the 5 out of 6 41s here. If we do see a 42, I'd be a little more confident to try to use one again next cycle. But
All right.
honestly, I think either way, if it's 41, I think it's going to go 42 for a stretch after that anyway. So I'm looking to probably use 42s in the near future, but this one's more of the question mark between the two, I think. Let's look over at. Let me make this a lot larger.
Oh my God. You can see Punk Rock Mike's email now. I can't see anything. You
I was
sons of
working on
bitches.
like 80%. Hey, I will say, we talked last workshop, and I said I'd use 65. I want to point out that it was the actual hold ahead of the 4. So
Oh,
I
there.
named the exact one on the back. And it was, it was just based on that logic, which I still didn't go through and see if it was actually true or it was just, a guess. But, we were talking about how this hold
Hmm.
had this odd little, goes up, goes down, then it goes to a 44, and then it goes down. Those aren't as likely. I'm still confident that it's true, even though I don't have facts that these holds are less likely to go back to a 44 when it would have a pattern like that.
Okay.
And it was true last cycle. So
Uh-huh.
just want to point out if you get stuck between two, that's kind of where it would be. So that hold this cycle would be 61. And, you look back, do you see these instances? It doesn't go up, right?
Right.
Here. Yeah, it's just a more common thing, I think. I need to sit down and actually figure that out, but yep, worked exactly like I thought last one. So
All
I would
right.
say the 61 is the 42 I would take less. You look at 63 and you see these little two and threes, they tend to go up. So I like 63 over 61 if you're using 42s. And yeah, I'd probably go 83 as well. Just trying to lean into that a little more and we'll see.
Oh my
So
God.
yeah, 63 and 83, I think, are the preferred holds. Uh,
I heard it here first,
67,
folks.
yeah, 67 is a little different than what we just said, though, because you see it went on this little stretch in between. So it's not that one up, one down, one up, one
Right.
down. Uh, those tend to probably hit a little more, but you look back, it's not the typical hold, but it's not. I mean, it has one instance here, I think,
Right.
but it's not common to go through stretches with just one drop in between. Eventually, it'll have a couple. So yeah, that kind of splits us because we don't know about a 41 or a 42. Uh, I may be bold enough to go off that assumption and use one of each this
Okay.
cycle. So if that helps anybody on the back, that's kind of where I would be leaning.
All right.
What did I say? I already forgot the old numbers.
You said
63. Yeah, there we go.
63 and 83, I think, were the ones you
Yeah,
were like.
that was it. I already forgot. There we go.
So there it is, folks.
All right. So I
Or
hope that
surprise
helps.
them,
That's how I think through the back. So
go with 81. They'll never see it coming.
wait, 81. Where are we at?
I don't
It's not even on here.
know. So I figured you look at the federations, so you're probably like, wait a minute.
Oh, I've used the wrong federation before.
Yes, it's all
Doesn't
right.
work out.
Our old buddy, the 25, up and down. Yes, no, yes, no.
So yeah, the zodiac is here.
This is what he,
Yes, no, yes, no. We are kind of back to a 50-50 on it.
yeah.
Um, I wouldn't say that it's a definitive, but I think it's a lot of yeses recently, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, more yeses than nos for sure.
3, 5, 6, 7, 7 to 5. So it's above 50% again. Remember when we used it a couple years ago? I think it was like, what, about 70, 75%,
Yeah.
something like that we were able to go off. So it's at least getting a little stronger again. Um, just don't know yet if we can trust that one no leads to a yes. Uh, so I probably wouldn't, rely on that too heavily, but it's getting better again. So we'll
Okay.
see in a few more cycles, and I think we might actually be back onto something we can work off of.
All right.
There's a pretty good chance you're going to take one anyway, though, because you see it's on 5 of the 9. So
Right.
half the options already have it. One of those, I will say, our old 22. Okay. I want to bring this up because this is incredibly unusual that, it's alternated 3 in a row.
Right.
Hold one when it was the worst hold possible, did a 4 in a row.
Right.
That's, I think, the only instance outside of that one in 53 that has happened. And, we're talking 41. So that's about 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
Um, so I would call that a pretty uncommon thing to see 425s in, what would that be, 7 cycles?
Yeah.
Uh, so I don't think 22 is a likely hole to drop if you wanted to eliminate one. Is it going to be, like I said, 2.5 years ago, about 2 years ago? Haven't seen one since. Could be it. They do things like that, but I would bet against, something's that unusual. If it happens, I accept it. It's kind of the
All
way
right.
it is.
There it is.
Yeah. So if you said 22 is not going to do that for a fourth time, uh, you would eliminate everything up here because
Yeah,
it's all
that's
22.
yeah.
And then you'd be in a really interesting spot because you're down to two double drops and everything on 27, 26.
Yikes. Like I
Um,
say, what can go wrong?
yeah, we had the 27s on the very end of last year,
Yeah.
and that ended up giving gold 5, which was up from the 3 the year before on double drops, the 3 year before that, and 2 before that even. So I do think there is a chance. We're talking, this is the third cycle, and if double drops are more common now, we would have 15 cycles, and we're thinking we might get 5 this year. So
Yeah.
I think they would be on the table to what happened, this cycle or next. Um, little concerned about the 28s because you see they wouldn't really be in our other options. Even if we didn't eliminate 22, they wouldn't be in the other options. So you're pretty far out on an island compared to what most people will have.
Yeah.
With what we had here, even if you put these back in, you see it's going to be a lot more common that somebody just doesn't have a 26, right?
Right.
So 26s are probably your best bet not to have a disaster cycle. Uh,
Yeah.
28s probably give you the best bet to hit when less people do. 27, 26 is probably somewhere in the middle that you're a little safer overall, not to just have it go one way or the other.
All right. I
Um,
mean, like I
yeah,
say, it's almost like when there's fewer options, this makes it harder, you know?
yeah, exactly. It's so I think we talked about the two holds here, so we can realistically, even if you don't eliminate one of the 43s, the 62 or 66,
Yeah.
you got 4 backs, so you
Yeah.
should be able to go some mix of maybe 2 up here. If you get really aggressive and take like 62, maybe even go 3 up here, maybe grab this one and half of this one. So I think that's kind of where we're at. Reasonable cycle. Like I said, we've got 72 before we made a lot of these guesses. So,
Yeah.
um,
No, that's good.
yeah,
Like I said, it'd be a shorter show today because we got fewer options to worry about. But there's, like I said, the back end, you got to think about 41s, 42s, which 43, the proper order with the 45s.
yeah,
Man, that's all right.
yeah. You'll spend more time thinking that through than grabbing one of these.
Yeah.
Because really, you just got like a 3 hole difference throughout it. It's you're just gonna have to say one is not what you like.
Right.
Not, I'm not saying hold one,
Yeah.
just one of the holds. So,
Well, this
but,
was our 87th show. So, oop, there's our virtual warning.
so we'll hit 100 this year. Yep,
Yes.
towards the end of the year.
Our super double show spectacular. That there won't be a double show spectacular. It's funny every time I announce we're doing one of these, someone will be like, "Can I chime in live?" I'm like, "Yeah, we don't." do it live. We're recording it. So I can chime in. Sure. But the
Nope.
last time we got a comment from some Russian bot that was like,
I mean, I still don't understand what that said.
yeah, I unless somebody was like, oh, I'll show
I
you.
invested. I made sure I invested all my money though.
Yeah, I sent him my
Just
credit
waiting.
card and social security number just to be safe. You know, here's my CC number. I have my brother-in-law's mother has been scammed a couple times, and now we just found out she has not one, not two, but three. What do you call it? The property you own, the not layaway. Um,
Mortgages,
no, like a remote home, like like a vacation home.
timeshares.
Timeshare. Yeah, she's three timeshares.
Ooh,
She is so easily. I'm like, I said to my brother-in-law, I'm like, you better like take control of her finances because she will get swindled. She will get absolutely swindled. But you will get swindled by that way by the IWAR Gold Strategy Workshop.
mm-mm. we just we just deliver gold.
That's right. We deliver the goods. I think I said it last time, but I was doing my numbers, and just from doing these workshops and what you guys and I always say like the stable stuff too. Like, people always think like I didn't join stables for a long time, and I joined SOS, and one of the things that we the way we talk about stuff and break numbers down and look at the way that things are going, it really helps me. I mean, I've had more 501s I think this last 2 years than in my whole entire time playing. So, I'm getting closer. Hopefully I'll make another report hit, but not just for multis. I'm trying to get that elusive gold fed and IWA championship a second time. So
I want to get my fourth this year. That's my goal.
fourth. Who were the
Yeah, I
do you
got.
remember the name of your wrestlers that won it?
Yep. Because I kept all three of them. Um, it's pretty bad because they were just throwaway wrestlers. Two of the three were.
Yeah.
One was one of my wrestling demons, alcohol.
Okay.
He won world and he had a U.S. title within like a year. So
Who's
that
with
was
it?
a good one.
Yeah.
Uh, One, I don't know. I was watching a bunch of documentaries on prisons. So one was just called the USP Atlanta inmate or something.
Jeez.
Like he wasn't supposed to win, obviously.
Whoops. Yeah.
But yep. And the third one, um, it's when I just every time I would win a title, I would name a wrestler after it. So U.S. champion Mike Cook is the world champion.
Okay.
So yeah,
Wow.
so
All
that's
right.
my three.
Yeah, I just had Senior Lucha, but I had it was funny. I used to really like chase numbers, and I did a lot of what I used to do in the past. I did a lot of like projections. What I would figure out, and I still do to a degree. I would say, okay, this hold went from here, right? So it's not going to likely go and repeat that value, but it can go either up or down. So I look at it and I figure, okay, well, it's going to go higher or lower. And now I do a thing where I figure out like the average value of the holds in certain places. So like I might put like let's say a 30 hold, right? I'm going to drop
Mhm.
one of the 30s in the 29 slot. And the other 30 I'm going to drop somewhere in like the 27, 26 range and roll the dice that it's going to hit there. And if it doesn't, that's okay. But if it does, because I find the big thing is for like I know we're going to get cut soon. It's that 9-10 spot that becomes big because if you get the back five, fine, you're good. It's those 9-10 spots that make a lot of difference.
Mhm.
So these are all your wrestlers here.
This was the Fed title. So Matt Jackson, it's one of my bigger wrestlers I've had for a few years. He has four Fed titles, so
God damn.
I thought that was a pretty good one.
Yeah.
I got a couple like this was a funny one because it's a third of a strat, which was just a dumb name again.
Sort of a
But
strat. Okay.
that was just it was a 6 man wrestler. That's all they did, because they were a third of a strat basically. They did nothing but 6 man. When iron was really bad, and we used to have both 43s go up and a double drop.
Oh
He
boy.
won multiple. You see, yeah, he has two iron titles that were from 6 man strats. That was like a decade ago. We don't
That
get
is
that
the
now.
Pat Mahomes of 6-man
Pretty
wrestlers
much,
here.
yeah,
Getting the bonus, the Johnny B rub. That
yeah. I actually,
was for Jeremy.
if if you take number of Fed titles and divide it by world titles, I have the worst conversion in the IWA history.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 39 and three worlds. So for every 13 Fed titles, I have one world.
All right. Well, speaking of conversions, here's let's put it out here while we're doing this. Uh, are you taking the Bills, the Chiefs, the Commanders, or the Eagles?
Oh, so you want my Super Bowl pick? I'm
Yeah,
going to
well,
take the Bills. I do think it'll be Bills and Commanders, though.
I would love to see that. That'd be great.
Yeah, that's where I put
We've
my money on. I actually put money on it, so
I think I
we'll
told you
see.
guys I had my first good week in a long time this past weekend, and it was because of the Commanders and because of the Bills.
Yeah, the
So
Commanders have made me a lot of money the past like month.
yeah, I'm hoping. I always root for teams that haven't gotten there, so I'm rooting for a Bills Commanders because you'll have not so much the Commanders haven't won since like 91 or 92.
It's somewhere around there. Yeah,
Yeah. I think it was 91, but because I remember the,
sounds
the
right.
the Bills went against the Giants, then the Redskins, then the Cowboys twice. Lost all four. And I have friends who are Bills fans, so it'd be nice for them up here. And whenever you see Bills fans like in like this, out in public or store or
Mhm.
whatever, and you say, "Oh, you think they had a chance?" Oh, I hope so. I will say one thing before we get going. Uh, I saw a story like the Bills do a cool thing, the fan base, where like, for instance, they always kind of give to a charity of the other team's player if
Mhm.
they really do screw up
Oh, the
bad.
Mark Andrews charity. Yeah,
So they gave to Mark.
it's like $90,000 though.
Yeah,
It's
that dude, I could not believe he dropped that pass. Like the two passes, but the second one was like that 2 point conversion. Ugh. He'll be thinking about that one for a long time. Anyways, all right, so we will wrap up. Thank you once again, Mike, for all your info and insight. And remember, everybody, deadline to get this in is Monday, 9 a.m. So do your strats late if you have to on Sunday. Get those matches in. And remember, this is a cycle where they're boosting the special deals
yep.
and doing
You got
those
a bottom
match
40.
deals. It'll be 40, not 20 or 30. And
Take two match deals.
it takes 2 matches. And of course, you still have time to get in the Johnny B Cup, the Murano Memorial Tag Tournament, or the Lethal Lotteries Trifecta Tournament. So the details are all in the IWAR magazine. Read them, they're there. Thank you all, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks, Mike.
All right. See you.